If you want to understand real English, start with this simple conversation. Just listen, relax, and let the language come to you. Hey, I'm John.
And I'm Sarah. Glad you're here with us.
It's been one of those busy days.
Yeah, same here. Feels nice to just slow down for a bit.
So wherever you're listening from, just relax with us.
Let's get into a simple conversation together.
You know, when it comes to building confidence in speaking English, I keep noticing it's not really about how much you know. It's more about whether you trust yourself enough to actually use what you know in real moments.
Yeah, honestly, that's so true. I've had times where I knew the grammar. I knew the words, but I still froze. And it wasn't because I didn't understand. It was because I didn't trust myself to say it out loud.
That's interesting, because it suggests confidence is almost a gatekeeper. Like, your knowledge sits there, but confidence decides whether it gets expressed or not.
Oh man, yeah. And I feel like confidence matters way more than grammar sometimes. Like, I've heard people speak simple English, even with mistakes, but they sound so natural and comfortable. And then there's me, trying to be perfect, and I just sound stiff.
Right, so there's a trade-off happening. When you prioritize correctness too much, you might lose fluency and natural rhythm. And ironically, that makes communication harder.
Yeah, exactly. I used to think, I'll speak when I'm ready. But honestly, that moment never came. I was always finding something to fix first. It's like I kept moving the finish line.
That's a good observation. Waiting for readiness might actually delay confidence instead of building it. Because confidence seems to come from action, not preparation alone.
Yeah, and the fear of making mistakes plays a huge role too. Like, I still feel that sometimes. I'll start a sentence and then stop halfway because I think it might be wrong. And that moment feels so uncomfortable.
That hesitation is interesting. It's almost like your brain is trying to protect you from embarrassment in real time. But in doing so, it interrupts the flow completely.
Oh my God, yes. It's like self-protection, but it backfires. Because after I stop myself, I feel worse than if I had just said it wrong. At least if I say it, I learn something.
So the cost of avoiding mistakes might actually be higher than making them. You lose both the learning opportunity and the confidence-building experience.
Yeah, and I've noticed something else. When I do make a mistake and the other person still understands me, it's like a small relief. Like, oh, okay, I'm still understood. I'm not failing completely.
That's important. It shows that communication isn't about perfection. It's about being understood. And once you internalize that, the pressure might decrease.
Yeah, but it takes time to really feel that. Because emotionally, mistakes still feel uncomfortable. Even if logically I know they're okay. It's like my feelings lag behind my understanding.
That's a great way to put it. There's a gap between intellectual acceptance and emotional comfort. And confidence probably grows in that gap over time.
Yeah. And for me, daily habits helped close that gap a bit. Nothing big, just small things I could actually stick to. Like speaking a few sentences every day, even if it's just to myself.
That makes sense. Repetition in a low-pressure environment might reduce that emotional resistance. You're basically normalizing the act of speaking.
Exactly. At first, it felt awkward, like really awkward. I was talking to myself and thinking, what am I even doing? But after a while, it started to feel more natural.
So the discomfort decreases with exposure. That's consistent with how most skills develop. The unfamiliar becomes familiar through repetition.
Yeah, and I also started doing small things. Like thinking out loud in English. Not full conversations, just describing what I'm doing or how I feel. It sounds silly, but it helped a lot.
That's actually quite effective. You're training your brain to form thoughts directly in English instead of translating. That reduces the delay in speaking.
Yes. That delay used to stress me out so much. I'd think in my native language, then translate. Then check if it's correct, and by then, the moment was gone. It felt exhausting.
So thinking in English shortens that process. It removes intermediate steps, making speech more immediate and fluid. That probably contributes to confidence as well.
Yeah, because it feels more natural. Like I'm not performing anymore, I'm just expressing myself. And that feels so much lighter.
That shift from performance to expression seems crucial. When you stop trying to impress and start trying to communicate, the pressure changes. And maybe confidence grows in that more relaxed space.
Yeah, I think so. And honestly, being kind to myself helped too. Like, not judging every little mistake. That used to drain my energy so much.
Self-judgment can be quite limiting. If every attempt is followed by criticism, you start associating speaking with discomfort. And naturally, you avoid it.
Exactly. But when I started being a bit more forgiving, I felt more willing to try again. Even after messing up.
So the willingness to continue becomes part of confidence. Not just performing well, but staying engaged despite imperfection.
Yeah, that's such a big part of it. Confidence isn't like I'm perfect. It's more like I'll keep going anyway. That mindset changed everything for me.
That's a strong insight. It reframes confidence as persistence rather than perfection. And that feels more achievable.
Yeah, way more achievable. And honestly, once I started speaking more, even imperfectly, people responded positively. That surprised me. Like, no one cared about my mistakes as much as I did.
That's often the case. We tend to overestimate how much others notice our errors. Most people are focused on understanding, not judging.
Yeah, realizing that took a lot of pressure off. It made me feel safer to just speak and not overthink everything. And that safety helped me improve faster.
So if we look at the bigger picture, confidence in speaking English seems to come from action, repetition, and a shift in mindset. Not just studying rules.
Yeah, and also from accepting that mistakes are part of the process. Like, they're not something to avoid. They're something you go through. That's how you get better.
So maybe the key takeaway is: speak before you feel ready, keep it simple, and allow mistakes to happen. And trust that improvement will follow.
Yeah, and I'd add, be patient with yourself. Confidence doesn't show up overnight. It builds slowly through real experiences. Just keep showing up and speaking.
That feels grounded and realistic. Not a quick fix, but something sustainable. And probably more effective in the long run.
Yeah, just start small, stay consistent. And don't be too hard on yourself. That's honestly what made the biggest difference for me. Alright. I think that's a good spot.
Yeah, that felt like a quick one.
Time really flies in these chats.
It really does.
Thanks for hanging out with us.
Yeah, we're glad you were here.
If you enjoy these conversations,
You can follow the show anytime.
alright everyone, we'll talk soon.